Ah, love. The thing that makes poets swoon, teenagers cringe, and divorce lawyers very, very rich. It's been written about, sung about, and occasionally regretted for thousands of years. But where does the word love actually come from? And why does one little word have to carry so many meanings? Today on Lexiconned, we're diving into the origins, evolution, and curious quirks of the word love. Because if history and cartoons have taught me anything, it's that love is complicated.
Ah, my little darling, it is love at first sight, is it not? No?
The English word love comes from the Old English lufu, which itself traces back to the Proto-Germanic lubo and the Proto-Indo-European root luv, meaning to care or desire. Now, in its earliest recorded uses, love didn't always mean romantic affection. It covered a range of emotions, including deep friendship, loyalty, and even a sense of benevolence. But over time, the word expanded its reach, probably because English is lazy and decided to use one word to mean all kinds of love. I mean, seriously, the Greeks had at least 6 different words for love, while we have just one. And we also use it to describe how we feel about pizza. So let's talk about the Greeks. They had a whole vocabulary dedicated to love. Eros was romantic, passionate love, the kind you find in love stories and rom-coms. Philia was deep platonic friendship, your ride-or-die type of love. Agape was selfless, unconditional love, kind of like how we love our pets even when they destroy our furniture. Storge was a familial love, that love between parents and children. And then there was ludus. It was a playful, flirtatious love. Think of it as like the ancient Greek version of sliding into someone's DMs. Meanwhile, in English, because we're the linguistic equivalent of a raccoon digging through a trash can, we took one word, love, and made it work for everything. Whether this is efficiency or laziness, I'll let you decide. Of course, love isn't just a linguistic mess. It's been a literary obsession for centuries. Shakespeare was basically the 16th century equivalent of a best-selling romance novelist, writing about love in all of its forms. Take Romeo and Juliet, for example. Is this the ultimate love story, or just a cautionary tale about what happens when teenagers make decisions without adult supervision? And then there's the whole medieval concept of courtly love. You know, where knights would dedicate themselves to unattainable noblewomen, writing poetry and jousting just to prove their devotion. This was, of course, deeply romantic, until you remember that many of these women were already married, and this whole setup, well, it was basically emotional infidelity with a fancy soundtrack. But if we go back even further, the English word love, we know, traces its roots back to the Old English term lufu, which used to denote various forms of affection, including the romantic attraction, friendship, and divine love. The earliest written records of lufu appear in Old English texts from the Anglo-Saxon period, which spans approximately the 5th to 11th centuries. However, pinpointing the exact first written instance is challenging because of the fragmentary nature of those surviving manuscripts. But notably, lufu is found in works such as the epic poem Beowulf and various religious writings of that era, so we know that it goes back at least 15 centuries. Now let's talk idioms. Love has given us some of the strangest phrases in the English language. There's love at first sight. I mean, it's a lovely idea, but honestly, it's probably just the side effect of adrenaline and good lighting. There's puppy love, because young love is excitable, and it's probably as short-lived as a golden retriever's attention span. We have love is blind. Now that's Shakespeare again, though in reality, love is probably more like a prescription. It helps you see what you want to see. And then, all's fair in love and war, a phrase that's been used to justify some very questionable romantic decisions over the years. There are dozens more that we just don't have time for. But man, what an arsenal of idioms we've created around the word love. Now here's something else to think about. Why do we fall in love? I mean, the phrase makes it sound like it's some sort of an accident, like tripping on the sidewalk or dropping your phone in the toilet. Why do we not rise in love or gracefully enter a stable and fulfilling emotional partnership? Well, I mean, we fall because, let's face it, love can be a mess. And speaking of outdated love ideas, one more idiom for you. Making love. Back in the 16th century, making love meant simply wooing someone with words and charm. A conversation could be considered making love. Today, well, I'm sure you all know that meaning has definitely changed. What have we learned? Well, love is a linguistic mess, a historical mystery, a never-ending source of inspiration and confusion. So whether you're single, taken, or in a long-term relationship with the Oxford English Dictionary, there's a kind of love for everyone. And if no one's told you today, Lexiconned loves you. Happy Valentine's Day. As always, Lexiconned is written, recorded, and produced by me, your Logophile companion, TJ Martin. Sources and additional credits are in the show notes. Thanks for listening.